Have you ever wondered why you feel tired even when you eat healthy? Why your brain feels foggy, your energy crashes mid-afternoon, or your body feels inflamed for no reason? Here's the shocking truth. Most of us are eating in a way that never allows our body to heal. We keep our cells stuck in storage mode and never activate the body's built-in repair system. But what if you could turn that system on naturally, without pills, supplements, or biohacks? That's what fasting does. Today we're diving into one of the most powerful yet misunderstood tools in human health, fasting. I'm Dr. Amin, neuroscience-trained assistant clinical professor of medicine and triple board certified physician and pathologist. I've spent over 2 decades studying the effects of inflammation. I now share what I've learned on YouTube and with my patients to help them reverse inflammation and live healthier and longer lives. Quick disclaimer before we begin. Everything we discuss today is based on peer-reviewed science, but your own situation is unique. Always consult your physician before considering fasting. This video and all content I produce is for educational purposes only. Fasting is not for everyone. For example, if you're pregnant, under 18, underweight, have a history of eating disorders, diabetes, on insulin or medication, and have a chronic illness, you should talk to your doctor before making any changes. This doesn't mean that fasting is off the table for you. Sometimes it just means that you have to proceed with more care and guidance. Now let's begin. Fasting has been practiced for thousands of years for spiritual clarity, discipline, and healing. But modern science shows us that it's not just tradition, it's optimizing physiology. Fasting taps into deeply wired programs in the body that reduce inflammation, repair cells, and restore balance. And I want to make this clear from the start. Fasting is not starvation. It's structured, intentional. When done correctly, it activates healing pathways that no supplement, no gadget, and no fat can. If you've ever felt inflamed, foggy, or burned out, what you'll hear today may completely reframe how you think about food, hunger, and healing. By the way, this channel is where I bring you physician-designed evidence-based strategies every week. If you want tools that actually work to lower inflammation, reclaim your energy, and restore clarity, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. When we eat, the body is in building mode, also referred to as anabolism. Insulin rises, nutrients are stored, and cells focus on growth. But after 12 to 16 hours of not eating, the body flips a switch. It moves into repair mode. The star here is autophagy. Autophagy means self-eating. It's the body's recycling system, clearing out broken proteins, malfunctioning mitochondria, even precancerous cells, and reusing the pieces and molecules to build healthier ones. Think of it as spring cleaning for your biology. Without fasting, the cleaning crew never show up. With fasting, the system finally resets. This isn't speculation, it's Nobel Prize winning science. Yoshinori Ohsumi actually won the Nobel Prize in 2016 for discoveries in autophagy. Research in Cell and Nature journals show fasting-induced autophagy happens in nearly every tissue, brain, liver, immune cells, and it is essential for healthy aging. Here's the first aha moment today. Most people never activate the system. By grazing all day, eating late, or spiking insulin constantly, the body stays in storage mode and never gets to repair. Let's talk about what's trending right now, water fasting. You've probably seen creators on YouTube and TikTok doing 3-day or even 7-day water fasts, claiming massive detox or cellular reset. Here's what the science actually says. Water-only fasting does trigger deep autophagy and stem cell renewal, but it also puts your body and system under stress that not everyone can tolerate. Studies from the University of Southern California's Longevity Institute show that multi-day fasting mimics chemotherapy's immune resetting effects, but without the toxicity. However, water fasting is not a badge of honor. It's a biological stressor. If you're going to do it, it should be done with medical supervision and not as a crash cleanse. The benefits come not from deprivation, but from recovery, how you refeed afterwards. That's when your stem cells rebuild new tissues, mitochondria, and even immune cells. So while water fasting is real science, it's not for everyone and not meant to be done every week. Now let's zoom out to inflammation. Inflammation is your immune system's natural defense. It rises when you're sick or injured. That's the good kind of inflammation, also known as acute inflammation. This is the type of inflammation that saves your life. But most people carry a different type of inflammation. That's chronic low-grade inflammation or hidden inflammation. This is silent, body-wide, and it drives fatigue, brain fog, cravings, weight gain, and long-term risk for chronic disease. What does fasting do? It lowers this silent fire. A review in Annual Review of Nutrition found intermittent fasting consistently lowers inflammatory markers like IL-6, TNF-alpha, and CRP. In some cases, CRP dropped even by 30% in just weeks. Another review in Cell Metabolism showed fasting helps the immune system stand down when it's not needed. That means fewer autoimmune flares and less self-damage. Studies also show that prolonged fasting triggered stem cells to regenerate parts of the immune system. Also note this, fasting doesn't just lower inflammation, it resets the conversation between your metabolism and your immune system. When insulin is constantly high from processed foods, it fuels inflammation. Fasting lets insulin fall, glucose stabilize, and the immune system recalibrate. Now let's connect fasting to something trending in the biohacking world, the gut-brain axis. Every fast you do gives your gut lining a break from constant digestion, allowing tight junctions to repair. Research from Nature Medicine and Cell Host and Microbes show that short-term fasting helps restore microbial diversity, especially beneficial bacteria that strengthen the gut barrier and lower inflammation. That's why so many people report improvements in their skin, better digestion, and improved focus after fasting. It's not placebo, it's microbiome recalibration. And there's a fascinating connection to your mood too. During fasting, dopamine sensitivity resets. That's why people report a sense of calm and clarity after the second or third day. It's your nervous system rebalancing reward signals, a concept known as dopamine fast. You're literally recalibrating your pleasure and motivation circuits, which is why fasting is being studied for addiction, anxiety, and burnout recovery. Let's move to the brain. Many people say fasting makes them think more clearly. That's not imagination. It's biology. During fasting, levels of BDNF, which stands for Brain-derived neurotrophic factor, rise. BDNF is like fertilizer for your neurons. It strengthens connections, supports memory, and boosts learning. Fasting also reduces brain inflammation and helps neurons clear damaged parts through autophagy. This is one reason fasting is being studied as a tool against neurodegeneration. Now let's bust the myth here. Fasting doesn't make your brain slow down. In fact, it makes it sharper. Our ancestors needed to be creative, focused, and strategic when food was hard to get. In other words, fasting benefits are actually an evolutionary advantage. Before we dive into protocols, let's mention a few cutting-edge variations gaining traction. The fasting mimicking diet, developed by Dr. Walter Longo, uses a 5-day low-calorie plant-based protocol that triggers the autophagy and stem cell benefits of water fasting, but while still eating small meals. It's been shown in Science Translational Medicine to lower IGF-1, boost immune regeneration, and reduce inflammation markers. Then there is circadian fasting, where you time your eating window with sunlight. This means eating your meals earlier, say 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., which aligns metabolism with your internal clock. This method enhances mitochondrial efficiency, glucose control, and sleep quality. And it's training because it's both simple and sustainable. Finally, there's synergy stacking, combining fasting with cold exposure. Cold therapy like cold showers or ice baths increase norepinephrine, which amplifies the anti-inflammatory effects of fasting. Think of it as a biological amplifier for fat metabolism and focus. So how do you actually practice this safely? If you're a beginner, aim for 14-10 or 16-8. This means fast for 14 to 16 hours. Eat in a 8 to 10 hour window. Most of the fast overlaps with sleep, which is easier to manage. If you have experience with fasting and consider yourself intermediate, a 24-hour fast once a week, let's say from dinner to dinner, will give you largest boost for autophagy. If you're advanced and have experience with fasting, consider 3 to 5 day fasting, but only with medical supervision. There are several peer-reviewed studies that show that stem cell renewal and deep autophagy activate and optimize during this pattern of fasting. One striking study in cell metabolism done by Sutton and colleagues showed that simply shifting meals earlier in the day improved insulin sensitivity and blood pressure, even without cutting calories. This is fascinating. It means it's not just what you eat, it's when you eat it. Here's how to make fasting livable, not miserable. Hydrate. Make sure you're hydrated because most headaches are because of dehydration. Also, make sure you add electrolytes, especially at the beginning as your kidneys and body are recalibrating the lower level of carbohydrates. You can drink coffee or tea plain, but avoid artificial sweeteners with meals. Pairing them with carbs can trick the body into over-secreting insulin. This will make you more hungry. Also, watch out not to use caffeine after 2 p.m. because it disrupts your sleep. Morning walk or light exercise helps mobilize fat and calm hunger. Hunger waves tend to peak at 15 to 20 minutes. Ride the wave with breath work or journaling. When it's time to break the fast, start with protein, fiber, and healthy fats. Avoid sugar bombs because it will jeopardize your progress. Regarding evening cutoff, studies show that eating earlier support better sleep and glucose control. So to make the process more efficient and easier for you, aim to eat larger meals earlier. Remember, fasting is not a willpower contest. It's about rhythm. Get the rhythm right, and the biology follows. One thing people rarely talk about is the refeeding phase, the period right after your fast. This is when your body becomes a sponge for nutrients. Studies show that eating antioxidant-rich foods, omega-3 fats, and clean proteins after fasting supercharges cellular repair. Think of it as a golden window, 24 hours where your cells are rebuilding, rejuvenating, and even reversing biological age. The biggest mistake people make, breaking their fast with sugar, alcohol, or processed food. That instantly flips inflammation back on. So break your fast like you're reintroducing food to a newborn body, gently, purposefully, with gratitude. Fasting is not about punishment. It's about partnership between you and your biology. Let's step back. It is written into our biology. Fasting activates autophagy, lowers inflammation, regenerates immune cells, and boosts brain plasticity. It's free and accessible. And when done intelligently, it is one of the most powerful ways to give your body permission to heal. If this reframed fasting for you, imagine what happens when you combine it with better sleep, circadian alignment, nervous system regulation, and anti-inflammatory nutrition. That's exactly what we do in the Get Uninflamed 90 challenge. You can sign up at draminhedayat.com to download the free handouts, and all the videos are on my YouTube channel. You can also find the links in the description for this video. There's one video for each week, and I provide guidance through Instagram stories and various channels, including weekly check-ins and live video. This is free for public, and it's part of my giving back and a global movement to create healthier individuals, healthier families, and healthier communities, one person at a time. I want to wake up individuals from living unknowingly unhealthy lives, passively, before it's too late, but also to help those who are sick with chronic disease or some cancers in their journey of healing. And if you want these kinds of evidence-based tools delivered every week, subscribe here, because it connects you to a community where science meets practice and where healing becomes possible. Fasting is not starvation. It's medicine, hidden in plain sight. Thank you for your interest in science-based tools and your time. I'll see you in the next video.